Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher are bellends of the highest order. I'm sorry, but I'm sick to fucking death of pundits spouting absolute and utter drivel on live television while expecting fans to lap it all up. Unfortunately, the pair of them have a huge platform, and they're using it to toe the party line given to them by the PGMOL and Premier League. When asked about Forest's statement last night, Gary Neville claimed that Forest are embarrassing themselves by behaving like petulant children, and that their words were something you'd expect to see from a mafia gang. The only thing embarrassing about this entire ordeal is Gary Neville showcasing to the world that he's the biggest hypocrite in football history. Anyone with a functioning brain knows producers were in his ear to sell a pro-referee narrative, and this was evident in how he kept shutting down Louis Saha, who rightly questioned why we have to deal with dogshit decisions week in week out in the so-called best league in the world. Telling Mark Clattenburg to resign from his role at Forest was a new low from Neville, who gives it the big one in regards to moral obligations and duties on air while taking blood money from Qatar. Perhaps he should try following his own advice. He's also the same bloke that urges clubs to give managers time on Sky while sacking them every few weeks without batting an eyelid at Salford, so forgive me if I don't believe a bloody thing that comes out of his mouth. As for Jamie Carragher, you can't help but laugh at the poor bastard's lack of self-awareness. He said that the FA and Premier League should come down hard on Forest with big sanctions, and that the club need to learn how to show a little bit of class. Maybe if Sky came down hard on Carragher with big sanctions for classlessly spitting on a teenage girl, we wouldn't be needing to have this conversation. Moving on to the statement itself, I saw absolutely nothing wrong with it. The first part reads, 3 extremely poor decisions, 3 penalties not given, which we simply cannot accept. As far as I'm concerned, that's bang on the money. Ashley Young was playing like he'd put a tenner on himself to give away a penalty, but somehow got away with it on 3 separate occasions. He kicked through Gio Reyna, handballed an attempted cross, and brought down Hudson-Odoi in the box. With technology and in turn slow motion replays now available, there's no reason not to be coming to the correct conclusion. So fair play to Forest for calling a spade a spade. Then, the second part declares, we warned the PGMOL that the VAR is a Luton fan before the game, but they didn't change him. Our patience has been tested multiple times. Again, factually, this is correct. Stuart Attwell is a Luton Town supporter, and for an organization like the PGMOL, who are so big on optics, to let this slide is scandalous. They don't allow Newcastle United supporter Michael Oliver to oversee any Sunderland games, so why should this be any different when Forest are in a relegation dogfight with Luton? As for their patience, it has indeed been tested multiple times. Ivan Toney moving the ball before scoring a free kick for Brentford, Darwin Nunez getting a 99th minute winner for Liverpool from a restart that never was, and Brighton not having Jakob Moder sent off are just a few examples off the top of my head of Forest getting shafted during this season alone. These fine margins are not only the difference between staying in the Prem and going down to the Championship, but also millions of pounds that could dictate the livelihood of people behind the scenes at the club, so Forest have every right to be aggrieved. The only bit I disagree with is the last line, where Forest asserted that they now consider their options. The PGMOL have less openness and accountability than the fucking government, so no matter what anyone does, they're untouchable. Unlike in other sports, we've got no idea what officials are saying to one another behind the scenes, and they're never made to explain the decisions that they make to the press either. Like always, we'll just have to sit back and wait till this blows over before the next horrific decision is made in a couple of days. As Old Red 1959 wrote on one of my videos, VAR appears to be a device to keep the title race and relegation battle interesting, as opposed to fulfilling its original purpose, which was to support the on-field referee in ensuring the right call is made. I'm sure Premier League refs will head over for a nice warm holiday in the UAE, sponsored by Man City might I add, while telling us all that there's nothing to see here. It's a complete and utter piss take, and I, like you, have had just about enough. Do let me know your own take down below. Please consider liking and sharing if you agree with my assessment, and I'll catch you in the next one, folks. Peace.